Hey, what's up everybody? Wade checking in for another court chat. Today I wanted to touch on a couple topics. We'll talk about accountability, how to hold anybody accountable, the best way to hold anybody accountable, and then, the best way if you're losing anybody in your life that you don't want to lose, the best way to get them back or to reforge that connection. So let's start with that one. The best way to get anybody back that you might be afraid of losing in your life. Chances are the person that you lost is yourself. Over the way in the relationship, you got comfortable. You stopped doing the things that won the person over in the beginning of the relationship. You guys maybe got a little bit too serious and you lost that playful aspect. In the previous video, I was talking about, the best way to maintain a healthy, playful attitude, but still, be aware of responsibilities and taking those on, and that's having that 16-year-old mindset where you feel like you can take on the world. You have all your ducks in a row, but you still have that playful mentality. You still have that playful mindset. And a lot of the relationships that we start, we're in that playful mindset. Things are happy, things are go-lucky, there's not a really anything to worry about besides where we're gonna go eat, where we're gonna go drink, whose house that we're gonna be hanging out at. Things get simple, or things are simple, but as you develop that relationship, things are going to come into play that are going to alter the level of seriousness of that relationship, i.e. cohabitating, maybe getting married, maybe having children. They all bring their own separate challenges that I think we probably fail to articulate and properly discuss. Boundaries and responsibilities. We're just still kind of going with the flow, making things work as we go. As far as being premeditated. It's unfortunate, but again, we didn't have really a proper introduction into how to build and maintain relationships. We just kind of released into the world and we forged our own way. But again, if you're really interested in taking that endeavor seriously, you have the option to do research, learn about, some of the gives and takes that are going to come into play, and how to maintain the best you. But again, over the course of those, you're gonna maybe lose portions of yourself, that fun, happy-go-lucky aspect, focusing on the serious natures, i.e. paying bills, feeding children, tending to taxes and whatnot, yards if you're buying houses, maintaining property in the home. And over the course of that, we might get too trapped in the things that are serious and lose that playful nature that, again, was what helped the relationship flourish in the beginning and what blossomed everything. People also change and develop over time. You're moving through stages. When you're 25, 30, you're not the same person as when you're 35, 40. After you have your first kid, you're probably not even the same person as when you have your next kid. There's going to be situations that come into play. Maybe you suffered an injury and you can't get down the way that you used to. And maybe you're down on your luck and you're not keeping that positive attitude about yourself. These things can feed into what you're pouring into the cup of your partner. And if you're not actively aware of that, you might be spilling things over that they're feeding off of that is now creating something that you don't like. And if you're leading the relationship, this responsibility is going to fall on you. You might not have been educated about this previous to taking on this responsibility. But again, if you want to learn, you want to pay attention, you want to seek information, and you want to do the best that you can to correct those things. So again, if you're losing this person, chances are the person that you're losing is this person, okay? And once you are aware of that and you take responsibility for that, and then you're going to start moving towards making sure this person is happy. making sure that this person is fulfilled. Because once you're happy and fulfilled, what's gonna happen? Your well of happiness is gonna overflow out of your cup. And then that's gonna spill into the glass of the closest person to you. And then that person gets to now feed off of your happiness and positivity versus the sorrow, the insecurity, the misery that you might have been spilling out of your glass haphazardly unaware. You know what I'm saying? So again, once you're spilling that positivity and your well of happiness is overflowing and you can maintain that state for yourself, it's gonna feed off of everybody. Everybody around you is gonna get to feed off of that, thereby kind of increasing their level of happiness. Because if you're the leader of your clan and you're a happy man, the rest of your clan's gonna be happy and taken care of. Because you're taking on responsibilities that you choose to, and you're happy doing so, and that's gonna inspire and drive the people around you to be, to wanna shed that same light with you. So like, again, if you're losing somebody that you value and you don't wanna do that, again, look inward and maybe take note and see what you lost in yourself that initially attracted that person to you. Maybe you need to start hitting the gym. Maybe you need to look into interesting jokes that might liven up your nature. Maybe you need to Google fun questions to introduce just different ways to be creative and fun instead of just being the boring mundane, hey, how are you, blah, 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 blah. Because honestly, the way that technology is working, so many people have access to everybody. How you're doing is the quickest way to kill any kind of connection ever. I don't even use that term anymore. Unless I know you personally and it's been some time. Yeah, I mean, so there's that. And then the other thing that we were touching on today, oh God, what was it? We're talking about, losing the person closer to you. Oh yeah, how to hold anybody around you accountable. So the best way to hold anybody around you accountable, again, it's probably to hold this person accountable. Because once you're holding yourself accountable, you're taking care of the needs that you need to. Diet, exercise, stimulating yourself mentally, learning and developing skills, sharpening old skills, making sure that you're in an environment that's constantly leading to growth and development for you, making sure that you're not whining and crying over situations that are outside of your control. You're developing action plans to help guide yourself through storms that you might find yourself running into, not away from, running into, so you can get to that other side faster. Always have an action plan, knowing who to communicate what with. I don't want to burden the people that I'm showering with happiness with something that might concern me. I'm going to take that to a different environment amongst my peers so that I can vent in a comfortable environment that won't be misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you turn to your coaches and mentors and you don't take those burdens where they don't belong. Because again, if you're leading your pack, your clan, you shouldn't be burdening them with situations that do not concern you. You're gonna keep that environment happy. Not to say that you can't share, but maybe do it after, again, you've identified your concern, developed an action plan and started to work on it. So that way you can talk about what's happening while you're fixing it, not necessarily your concern with it. There's a difference between expressing a concern with the partner versus dealing with an issue that you have a solution to. You know what I'm saying? That might have explained why you have been a little off on a day before. Nobody's perfect. Everybody needs to understand that. And again, being aware of yourself, a lot of us are self-sabotaging. You know what I'm saying? We won't do what it takes to push through that last barrier to achieve success. We'll quit, give ourselves an excuse, stop, and then we'll just, if it wasn't meant to be, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You have to push through that. So you have to not be taking BS from yourself so that you can adequately identify BS from somebody else and be able to walk away with it, or vocalize that I don't appreciate this kind of behavior and we're going to have to do something to fix it. Otherwise, this is not going to be conducive to a long-term connection with us. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to confidently identify and verbalize these things so that you're holding yourself accountable. We're not playing any kind of blame games. We're identifying behaviors, and you're letting other people know what you will and will not tolerate. Boundaries are okay. We talk about them all the time. You have to respect your own boundaries, though. Otherwise, how can you expect anybody else to respect your boundaries? It's only fair. So again, best way to hold anybody accountable is to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable. And then again, if you're losing anybody that you feel is of value to your life, you might want to check inward and see what you're losing about yourself that could be driving this other person away from you. Once you assume responsibility for your life in the direction that you had, you have a greater chance of controlling and correcting the direction that you want your life to go in and who you're going to carry along that journey. If you're not properly taking care of yourself and holding yourself accountable and making sure that you're not losing the parts of you that you love. Because if you lost the parts of you that you love, how is maybe the person that fell in love with those things as well supposed to love who you are? You have to take care of yourself. Put your mask on, and when the plane's going down, you put your mask on so that you can put your partner's mask on. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do to keep you happy so that you can guide and inspire other people to do the same. And allow them the freedom because you're free. So yeah, touching base on those two things. Best way to hold somebody accountable, make sure that you're taking care of your stuff. Best way to win anybody over that brings value to your life that you don't want to lose, make sure that you are not losing the things in yourself that are of value to the people around you. On that note, Weiji's gonna check out. This is how I conduct myself, and I make sure that I'm guiding my train on a path that is successful for me and anybody that might want to take the journey with me. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Smash that like button. Weiji's out.